Okay, class, settle down, settle down. I know, we're all getting excited for Christmas. How do I know it's Christmas? Really, I don't care about Christmas, but there are ways I can tell. For example, the evil wife starts putting Christmas-themed Disney characters around my workspace. Like Stitch here, who kind of doesn't go. Okay, get lost. And other things like this Eeyore here. You can see the cute little hat. I'm not going to do an impression of Eeyore, even though I do sometimes. However, that little thing is still going. Eeyore here, there is a connection between this dude, get lost, and this. This is the subject for today's lesson in class. It is Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime. I'm thinking it's the Voyager class. I'm not sure anymore, but it's the bigger one. There's the 2-pack that looks like deluxe sizes, and then there's the bigger one, which I think is Voyager. It's this one. What's that connection between Eeyore and this? I'm not going to tell you, but if you're a Transformers geek, or maybe a Transformers nerd, you should already know. At any rate, let's look at this figure in the package before we open it up. One thing I'd like to point out right away, don't know how well we can see that there, it says First Edition. So I guess there's going to be multiple editions. There'll probably be this one, and then Battle Damage Optimus Prime, and then probably a black Prime that they'll call Nemesis Prime, and then a white Optimus Prime that they'll call Ultra Magnus, and then a whole bunch of other crap. So there'll be like 18 editions. So it's First Edition. I guess that makes it special, especially since it's silver. On the top of the box there, we can see the Autobot emblem, which is kind of nice. And it's all in that really awesome reflective plastic, which is annoying when you're trying to film. What else do we got here? We got an awesome picture of Optimus Prime there, looking all badass, which is great. It also comes with a display stand, because, you know, he won't stand up on his own, I guess. We'll find out. What else do we got here? So, Optimus Prime, there's a picture of the figure there. It has a Cybertronian sword and a plasma cannon. It's a BFG, let's face it. There's his truck mode. Eventually, we're going to see a bulkhead, which is going to be cool, because it looks pretty good. There we've got the Autobots from the show. I've seen Prime figures, RC, Bumblebee, and Cliffjumper. It's amazing they put him in there. I have not yet seen a Ratchet or a Bulkhead, but I'm guessing we're going to see those eventually. What else do we got here? Another picture of Prime with the sword, which is excellent. And again, First Edition. 001 Optimus Prime. Maybe they all have number designations now. I don't know. But anyways, we can see Prime in there. Just waiting to bust out of the package, which I shall do in a second. So, we won't waste any more time. Let's grab something sharp and look at Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime. Okay, I'm back, as promised. Would I lie to you? Okay, can you prove that I've lied to you? Ha! Anyways, we're going to keep looking at this figure, now that I've got it out of the packaging. But before we do that, let's look at part of the packaging itself. The package said, comes with display stand. And here we have it. Yep, it's cardboard. It's just some nice folded cardboard. We've got a Decepticon emblem there, an Autobot emblem there, and of course Transformers Prime across the top. So we can, you know, put Optimus Prime on here. That didn't work too well. We can put Optimus Prime on here just to make sure we don't forget that he's part of Transformers Prime. And chances are, if you collect Transformers, you know exactly which wave each figure is from, or what series, I suppose. So yeah, this will probably be hitting the recycle bin. I don't see this surviving the rigors of toy storage. Oh, crap. Anyways. So now we can look at Prime himself. I guess the color scheme will start there. Let's get rid of that for a second. It's more or less what we'd expect from Optimus Prime, right? I mean, we're not going to do anything too groundbreaking here. We've got mostly red. The grille is a gray color. Actually, it would have been nice if it was more silvery like the side panel is, which is nice. And of course, the back is going to be blue, and naturally, if we know anything about Optimus Prime, we know that these are going to be the legs, and somewhere up here is going to be his torso and his arms. More or less standard. We've got the translucent blue plastic for the windshield there, and we've got some yellow for the lights. And actually, this truck seems incredibly narrow, which I spoke about back when we looked at the Creo Optimus Prime, the Lego-ish Optimus Prime. It seemed very narrow, and this one strikes me as the same way. We'll see how it looks once we get it transformed. The other thing I should point out, well, besides the fact it rolls, that's nice, we can mount the weapons on the back. Even though this one I have a difficult time making stay there. Seems to be the trend with Optimus Prime toys now. I forget when that started. I want to say, was it Armada? Where it seemed like not the trailer, but just you could attach weapons on the back. When you had a Minicon, is that Armada? Armada was stupid. At any rate. Oh, sorry, there is one other thing. One thing I like here, on his grill, we can see the Autobot emblem, the badge. It's like a separate plate. I like that. He has that on the show. It's really nice that they put it on there. I think in the show it's still silver colored, but it's alright if it's red there. Makes it a little more distinguishable. But it's nice that he has that. It's a nice little touch they've added. Overall, you know what? The truck is nice. Now, I should point out that, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but not all the seams seem very closed together very well. My camera would focus, especially here on the hood. This is going to be one of those figures where turning it from robot back into vehicle mode is a bitch. Okay, I'm not going to lie, it is very, very difficult, especially the first time through. It reminds me of the Robots in Disguise figures, some of the Autobots that were like that. The Transformers alternators I found were like that, just getting all the little stupid plates and joints to sit in place firmly was difficult, and this figure does kind of have that issue as well. So what I'm saying is that if you don't like the way I've presented my Optimus Prime here, go buy your own and turn it into a truck yourself. Oh wait, is he kidding? Anyways, so yeah, it is actually relatively tough to get into truck mode, at least looking good. I've spent a fair amount of time going back and forth and trying to get this thing in a solid truck piece without these seams seeming quite as obvious, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck. Okay. So let's get rid of these weapons for a second. We'll look at them again later on. Let's see if we can turn this thing into a robot. Now, I'm sure there are certain ways you're supposed to do it according to the instructions, but, you know, instructions are for nerds. So we're just going to pull this thing apart. Let's see if we can get his feet there. There we go, sorry. Got them backwards. Hey, what a surprise! The back part of the truck became the legs. I would have never guessed. Anyways. There we can see Prime's head. I'm going to pull this apart. And as I said, if it seems like this is a very haphazard way of doing it, that's because it is. I'm sure there's an actual process that I'm supposed to follow, according to the instructions, but we're not going to worry about that too much. As long as we can turn it into a robot, who really cares? Ooh, there's his head. We're going to fold that, let's turn this around. There we go. We're getting there. See, we're about halfway there. So this is a Voyager. I see they've changed the classification again as to how difficult the figure is, and I think they put this one in the middle as intermediate. And I believe right now this particular Optimus figure is the biggest one that's available. I know there will be bulkhead. I've not yet seen the bulkhead. But I don't think there are any that are more difficult than Optimus right now. And I can say that because the bulkhead has not yet been released. Okay. Well, as far as I know, I haven't seen it in stores. Maybe other people have. There we go. Oh yeah, the smokestacks. Actually, that's a good point I want to talk about right now. The smokestacks on the back. There's so much whining and bitching on the internet. Oh, I don't like the smokestacks. They're too short. Oh, who cares? Get over it. Really, if that's a make or break thing for you, you've got other issues you should deal with. But they pop right out, whether that's good or bad, and it's a soft plastic. Now, I always thought they were worried about kids choking on these things, but I've been told they're worried about kids sticking them in their eyes. Now, if you're going to take something like this and stick it in your eye, well, one, you probably go to a special school, and two, maybe you just shouldn't have these in general. But at any rate, so they just kind of fit in there. They're soft plastic, again, just in case we're going to try to stab each other with them. Which, if I was to stab somebody, I would probably not try using an Optimus Prime smokestack. I have better things for that. I mean, I wouldn't dream of ever hurting another individual. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing here. Just trying to get the arms folded in to place. There we go, there's one. Let's see if we can get the other one there. That's two. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. There we go. And we're going to fold these bits. Fold his hands down. Fold these back over. Yeah, believe it or not, I have done this once or twice before. I should be better at it by now. There we go. I'm going to lift that shoulder plate up a little bit. Do the same thing on this hand. There. Whoops. Stay. Don't think I've got the arms, the chest piece quite right. There we go. Okay. There we have Optimus Prime in all of his glory in his robot mode. That took me a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. You'll forgive me, right? Ah, I'm sure. Anyways, so again, in terms of the color scheme, like we were talking about before, it's more or less what we'd expect from an Optimus Prime, right? We've got the blue legs, some of the gray here on the upper legs. His torso and arms are kind of the reddish color. He's got a little more black than we're used to. His hands are black instead of blue, actually, now that I look at it. A couple of yellow bits. We've got the windshield there on the front, even though it's not the same as what it was. It's not the same as what he had in truck form. The head, you know what? Yep, that's Optimus Prime colors. He's got the huge fin, though, or whatever it is on the top, which is kind of crazy. But that's okay. And then on the back, again, the smokestacks are gray, and then we've got some gray for the grill. Actually, it's kind of interesting they have these here, because it's meant to make him resemble G1 Optimus Prime, right? So he has the windshield there, but we can see them. Sorry, it's hard to see, but we can see them on the back. Like, clearly the windshields, or the glass plates on his front, are not the ones that were in his truck form. At any rate. Now, the other thing we can see here, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but the back of the head does have the translucent blue plastic, the top of his head. That way, in light, his eyes look like they're lit up, which is kind of nice. And I can't remember from the show, are his eyes blue? I can't remember, and I've just been watching it recently, so I should know that, but I forgot. At any rate, pretty sturdy, which is nice. He stands up pretty well, and it's because he's got the huge honking feet down here. Now, in terms of articulation, we can move his head all the way around and go up. It can come right off. Okay, let's see if we can remedy that. Did I just break my Optimus Prime? That would be a shame. There we go. Okay, so there you go. Don't try to lift your Optimus Prime's head straight up, or it will come right off. Anyways, so the head does rotate, but it does not go up and down, despite what I was talking about earlier. We can rotate the arm all the way around. We can, if we lift the shoulder plate, move it out to the side a little bit. The elbow bends, we've got rotation there at the forearm. And we've got rotation at the hand, or at the wrist as well. It doesn't quite go all the way around, but it's pretty close. His torso does rotate, which is nice. That's part of the transformation. And he's got forwards, backwards motion in the legs, actually pretty far back, considering. And they do go to the side, so it is kind of a ball joint there. His knees bend, and we've got a rotation there as well. And we've got a little bit of movement in the ankle, so we can move him around a little bit, which is nice. Now, in terms of the kibble that he came with, the accessories, he does have a couple of weapons. First one is his, what did we say, it was plasma cannon. His BFG is, in the original, wasn't it his laser rifle or something? I don't really remember anymore. But anyways, there we can see it's black. It looks like it's got some, it's had some use. It's got the kind of the white specks and stuff on it. I've not really significantly studied the weapons on Transformers Prime, but I'm guessing that's more or less how it looks, except it's not all one black piece. In the show, it's more of a silver color. And if you've watched the show, and if you haven't, you should. It's the first Transformers series I've enjoyed since Beast Wars. And Beast Wars is over 10 years old. I've pretty much thought everything since has sucked. But we know that now they don't necessarily carry their weapons, most of them. They just transform out of their hands, similar to what happens in Bayformers, right? And so they decided to continue that. So we can put it in his hand, but it does sit in such a way that it does look like it's attached. That way we get that illusion that we have from the show. Which, I mean, obviously they're not going to build a gun this size into an arm this size. You know, we can just see that they're different, and it's really not going to work. And if they, I'm glad they didn't try to, because it'd be gimmicky and crappy. And, of course, we've got his sword. Now, this thing is also a soft plastic. Very rubbery. And again, I guess that's to keep the kiddies from hurting themselves by stabbing themselves in the eye. Even though I don't, well, I could probably find somebody I could see if I could stick this in their eye and see how bad it was. Probably not as bad as a sharp one, okay, I admit, or a hard plastic. But anyways, we can also put that in his other hand, so that now he can kick all kinds of ass by having a blade in one hand or as one hand, and then his gun in the other. It would have been nice if he had come with 2 blades and 2 guns, because he does occasionally do that on the show. Or maybe a third-party creator will make another blade and another gun, maybe a little more show accurate, and you can get a couple of them. That way he can just have both. That would be excellent. So if you're one of those people who do that, take this and make 2 of them, except make them a hard plastic. And same thing with this one, except, you know, make it show accurate. That'd be wicked. At any rate. Now, what do I think of this figure? You know what? I have to say I do like it. It does feel a little... Some of the plastic feels a little bit... I don't want to say brittle, but not heavy duty. I worry about how much abuse this figure could actually take. Not that I plan on abusing it, but, you know, these are for kids, right? And I do worry about some of these plates and stuff getting broken. But otherwise, it's a decent figure. If you're going to get just an Optimus Prime from this show, I would recommend this one. I've seen pictures and I've seen the 2-pack of Optimus Prime and Megatron in the stores, and it looks like a piece of crap, I'm not going to lie. But this one is excellent. Thoroughly enjoy it. If I were to give this figure a grade, you know what? This figure gets a solid A. I'm biased because I like the show. I'm biased because I like Optimus Prime, and this one's pretty good. It's got its weak points. In truck mode, it's very difficult. Some of the plastic is nah, and some of the soft plastic is kind of hit and miss. But otherwise, he's really good. I'm sure he'll go well in your Optimus Prime collection, as he will in mine. So if there are no questions, and even if there are questions, thank you very much, and class is dismissed.